Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Today, finally, we are going to get some financial data from the US. Yay! After months, about 2 months of no data, today is going to be the first day in a very long time that we're going to get some economic data that is coming out from the US. And as a result, the markets could be very, very uncertain, froggy, volatile, however you want to call it. Yesterday, yesterday we saw a very nice movement for the crypto market. XRP was up, altcoins were coming up very nicely. Bitcoin, not so much, but it was in the green. First green Monday after 8 straight red Mondays. So, that's a good thing. But today we're seeing already a little bit of a stop, right? A little bit of a break here on the crypto market. Assets that maybe were up yesterday are coming down a smidge, right? Because of the potential uncertainty. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about also what President Trump just said about China and how that could potentially be affecting the crypto market. And we'll talk a little bit about CME, ETFs, all the latest and the greatest XRP and crypto news. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes, right? When the market was down, we gave the good vibes. When the market is up, we give the good vibes all the time, all year round. We give the good vibes. Why? Because I like to live life like that. I don't like to be too much in the mud, right? I like to be a positive person. My wife says I'm positive for the both of us. It's a good thing because, well, you know what? I'm not going to get in trouble. Anywho, I don't want to be sleeping on the couch tonight. It's not comfortable enough. I have 3 boys, so I'm not buying a comfortable new couch. Anybody that has 3 boys knows what I'm talking about. Them jumping on the couch and spilling stuff. Anywho, back to the program. Beautiful smile. Smash the like button. And let's get into it. So currently XRP is sitting at $2.19, almost $2.20, down minus 1.3% on the day. XRP did get to almost 229 resistance area, got rejected. So you can see it's been the past hour or so, you can see we've seen a little bit of a pullback here. It's not just XRP, it's the whole crypto market pulling back here as we get closer and closer to the PPI data that is coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So this is going to be the first PPI since the 10th of September, right? So this has been a long time since we've seen any economic data come out of the US. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, we talk about this, the PPI and the CPI and how it affects the markets and the GDP and the PCE and all those acronyms, right? We've seen how it can swing the market. We haven't had this in the past 2.5 months. So this is the first day and investors are a little bit on edge. That's why potentially you're seeing a little bit of profit taking. But again, the data can come out, the market can react one way, and then a few hours later, it can act another way. These days are very, very hard. Okay, so be very careful out there if you're trying to, see what's up today. I am sitting on my hands a little bit. I want to see what the data is. I want to see what is happening. There are some movers and shakers today, like Kaspa is up, but for the most part, the market has pulled back off of those highs. And it will be very interesting to see, where we go here today. Again, this is just what I am seeing. This is just what I am viewing, my opinions, how I am trading. Of course, this video is only for educational and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything, to do anything. I won't befriend you. I won't DM you. Be very careful out there. There's a lot of imposters, a lot of scammers that are impersonating me. They're trying to fool people. Be very careful out there. Okay. So we'll see how the market reacts today to all that. We did get some news, interesting news last night from President Trump. He released a statement on his call with China's President Xi, said a very good call and Xi, and that he will be heading to Beijing in April. Trump also says Xi will be coming to the U.S. And they agreed to communicate often. So all the scare and the fear that some would say would be the thing that caused October 10th sell off, it seems to be gone. Again, there's all the theories behind why that happened and the MCSI and all that, and the things that have been going around the interwebs. At the end of the day, what was the catalyst there was that situation, the tariff and the fear of another escalation in the trade war between China and the U.S. And those of you that were in the market in 2017, 18, remember that had a big effect on the market. And so we'll see potentially what happens with that. We're also getting closer and closer to the decision of the Fed. So today we'll get a little bit more clear. Tomorrow with GDP and PCE numbers coming out, we'll get a little bit more clarity. But this is interesting because last Friday, Fed President John Williams said he would support a rate cut, and the market odds went from 30% to 75%. Remember when we saw that flippening? Because Williams is seen as a proxy of Powell, aka not all Fed presidents are equal. The New York City one matters a bit more to the markets. Well, Mary Daly just came out and says she supports rate cuts as well. San Francisco Fed president also matters a bit more to the markets. Rate cuts just jumped to 80%, the highest in weeks, although when I looked here, it was 77, but still pretty high, and potentially why the markets have a better chance to hold on to its gains. Seems like the end of the year run is contingent on a rate cut, and the market is much more optimistic about getting one today than it was last week. Now, if we get the cut, it means that the labor market is weakening, which is not necessarily good for the economy, but if we cut early, we may have a chance to stop the labor market from completely deteriorating, which is very important for the economy. It's kind of a, what's better, what's worse, right? You have to, what outweighs each thing. Again, this is even the brightest economic minds in the world don't really know what the right answer is here right now. The Fed thinks that they're doing right, but we've seen in the past 3-4 years that they have made a lot of mistakes. And there's a lot of, financial people that something this way and something that way. So it will be very interesting to see, what happens here and how potentially the market reacts to everything. And if we do get a rate cut or we don't get a rate cut, right now it's high probability that we do. But again, as the economic data starts flowing out, things can change and probabilities can shift because they're basically been flying blind here for the past 2 months, and all their decisions and all the comments are without the data. Okay, so that's again very, very important to remember. This is interesting. We had a good day yesterday for XRP. If you remember XRP, a lot of the run that happened back in November and December of 2024 came from South Korea. Well, we're seeing in the South Korean exchanges, again, XRP getting some more demand. So again, this is going to be something that we need to watch out for to see how XRP plays out in South Korea, in Eastern Asia, and how money flows there. It will be interesting to see what happens. We talk a lot about the XRP ETFs, which there's a new dashboard thing that you can see the flows and the volume and all that, which is pretty cool. But wait, I have a sneeze. But if you think about it, no, I can't stop it. No. But if you think about it, a lot of the action, a lot of what's happening is coming from South Korea, right? And from the exchanges there in the past. So yes, the market in the US is important, but remember, crypto is a global asset. It's a global thing. And yes, short term, it gets influenced by what is happening in the US, but long term, it is a global entity. It trades 24/7, and a lot of action that happens is when the South Korean traders are up, right? And they're trading. So just watch out for that and notice that. I've noticed that before in the past, that a lot of the action happens when actually people in the US are sleeping. Interesting, right? Another thing that is kind of cool is that we're seeing CME. I read today that it's seen their highest volumes, right? Which meaning that people and institutions are interested in futures, in crypto futures, and the XRP and Solana have been doing good. And you can see here the they're going to be adding spot quoted XRP and Sol futures are arriving December 15th. December 15th, pending on regulatory review. So they're adding more potential ways to trade XRP. So we got the ETFs, we got, of course, futures, and now we have this. So it continues to broaden, it continues to allow people to have more ways to, if they want, right, to buy crypto. If they don't want, then they shouldn't buy, right? But this gives more possibilities and more opportunities. The more places that you have the asset, the better, I think. Some might say, well, it broadens it too. If it broadens it too much, right, then people are going to get a little bit lost. But if you have more possibilities, I think that is better. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on this. Again, this is just my opinion. This is just what I see, what I am feeling on the market. Of course, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. This video was for educational and entertainment purposes only. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We still have the raffle going on. If you want to participate, you gotta subscribe, join the free Telegram group, and follow me on X. Link is in the description down below to my website, and you can see all our partners there if you are interested in supporting that way through our affiliates. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond, and don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.